Okay, so you've sent us quite a stack of material this time, really digging into generative AI.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot topic.
And it sounds like what you're really after is, getting past the hype, understanding the real impact, especially on how we learn, how we create things. So, yeah, let's dive in.
Agreed. It's crucial we understand how these tools are changing things, our cognitive habits even.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, we're zeroing in on generative AI and learning, and specifically looking at these two sort of key ideas, cognitive externalization
Right. That's how we naturally, offload thinking onto tools or the environment.
and anthropomorphization,
Yeah.
which is us seeing human qualities in tech.
Giving things human-like characteristics. Yeah.
Your sources, and there's this one piece from Educational Psychology Review, Placebo or Assistant. Really interesting title. They give us a lot to unpack here. The good, the bad, the potential upsides and downsides of using these AI systems.
And our mission basically is to boil down what these sources are telling us. Help understand how AI is shifting our whole relationship with technology.
And what that could mean long-term
Right.
for our own skills, right? Our own understanding.
Precisely. What are the consequences?
Okay, let's start with the basics then. Generative AI, I think ChatGPT, the one that really made it mainstream.
Right.
Suddenly you type in a few words and bam, you get text, images, even video that feels, well, surprisingly human-made.
Yeah, it's automating these really complex creative tasks from pretty simple prompts. That's the game changer.
It immediately made me think of the Google effect,
Hmm.
where we remember where to find info, not the info itself. Is generative AI, is it taking that another step further?
That's a really big question in the material, yeah.
Are we maybe heading towards not just forgetting facts, but like losing the ability to do certain things ourselves?
That's a central worry. I mean, if you rely on AI to write everything, does your own writing muscle just atrophy?
Or visual creativity if AI makes the images? And this obviously throws a huge wrench into education, particularly assignments. The article flags the challenge to academic norms, plagiarism specifically.
Oh, definitely. This AI text can be so good, so convincing. It's incredibly hard to spot.
Certain tools just aren't cutting it.
They're struggling, yeah. Which then kicks off this whole debate. Are essays even a good way to assess students anymore?
It's a fundamental question, isn't it? How do we actually measure learning now?
Right.
The article also mentions this blurring line. Is AI a tool like a calculator, or is it more like a collaborator?
That's a great way to put it. We've had AI in search engines' recommendation algorithms for ages.
Yeah, without all this ethical hand-wringing.
But generative AI feels different. It's that creative piece. It's making something new, not just finding something that exists.
That capacity for creation, that's what feels uniquely human and maybe why it's unsettling.
I think that's a big part of it. It taps into something we thought was ours alone.
Okay, so powerful tech, amazing potential, but also these deep questions about us. Now, the article gets into some really interesting psychological stuff. Let's talk about this AI-related placebo effect. What's that about?
Okay, this is fascinating. It's basically the idea that if we think AI is helping us, or even if we're just told it is, we tend to rate our own performance higher.
Even if the AI didn't actually do much or anything.
Exactly. It's like a sugar pill making you feel better. The belief creates an effect. You overestimate your own abilities during the task and even looking back.
So the key thing here is just thinking AI is assisting you can create this false sense of what? Mastery.
Yes, an illusion of competence, which could actually stop you from doing the real work needed to learn.
Okay, examples. Did the research show this in action?
Oh, yeah. One study, people doing word puzzles, the group told they had AI support. Even if it wasn't real, they rated themselves much higher than the control group.
Just being told was enough.
Seems like it. And another one, even more striking, a card game. Participants used what they thought was an AI-powered brain augmentation system. Total sham.
Okay.
But they made riskier bets. And afterwards, even when told it was fake, they still believed the system had helped them.
Wow.
And get this, EEG scans apparently showed changes in their brainwaves while they were using the fake system.
That's wild. So the belief literally changed how their brain was working, or at least how they perceived it.
It points that way, yeah. The power of belief interacting with technology.
So the downside is pretty clear then. This illusion of being better.
Means you might not practice enough. You think, oh, I've got this because the AI helped. But you haven't actually internalized the skill yourself.
You skip the hard yards of learning.
Precisely. It hinders real development.
Like thinking you speak French because you use Google Translate on holiday, but you can't order coffee.
Exactly that kind of thing.
Okay. Then there's the AI ghostwriter effect.
Oh.
Sounds different.
It is. Here, people use AI to generate text, and they don't claim they wrote it themselves. But they also don't credit the AI.
So the AI's contribution just disappears. It's invisible.
Pretty much. It's
Yeah.
like having a collaborator you just don't mention. There's a reluctance to acknowledge the AI's creative input, even when it's clearly done the heavy lifting.
Why? What did the research suggest was going on there?
Well, it found that even if users personalized the AI, gave it lots of info, they still often didn't credit it. But they did feel more ownership if they felt they'd really guided the AI. You know, detailed prompts, lots of editing and selecting.
So more user effort equals more feeling of ownership, even if the base text was AI.
Seems that way. It's not necessarily deliberate plagiarism, like trying to pass it off as their own work entirely. It's more like not wanting to admit how much help they got. Or maybe just seeing the AI as a sophisticated tool, like spell check, that doesn't need citing.
But that feels different, doesn't it?
Mm.
Spell check corrects my words. This generates the words themselves.
That's the crucial distinction, yeah. It's a very different level of contribution. With the placebo effect, you genuinely think you did better. With the Google effect, it's fuzzy what do I know versus what can I find.
Mm-hmm.
With the ghostwriter thing, people seem aware the AI did a lot, but they consciously choose not to highlight it. Maybe they just see it as offloading work, like using any other unacknowledged tech.
Which gets really tricky with authorship, doesn't it? Because the user is involved. Prompting, editing, curating.
Absolutely. It's not black and white. Who's the real author? It's complicated.
So what do we do?
The researchers suggest maybe we need something like contribution statements.
Yeah.
You know, clearly saying the human did this part, the AI did that part.
Okay, that could work. Which brings us to this central conflict, you called it, between cognitive externalization and anthropomorphization.
Yeah, the tension there.
Remind us again, externalization is us offloading thinking,
Onto tools, onto AI, we do it naturally.
and anthropomorphization is seeing the tech as human-like.
Right. Treating it like it has intentions, personality.
So what's the paradox?
Well, we're happy to let AI do the cognitive work for us. That's externalization. And we chat with these things. They feel quite conversational, which suggests we are anthropomorphizing them to some extent.
Okay.
But at the same time, we seem unwilling to give them enough human-like credit to feel we need to acknowledge their contribution, like we would a human partner.
Huh. So we treat it like a human enough to talk to it naturally, but not human enough to give it credit for its work.
Kind of, yeah. We use its power, but maybe deny its agency in a way.
The article mentions the RCSA framework computers as social actors. What light does that shed?
Garrissey basically says we're sort of hardwired to treat computers socially like people.
Really?
Yeah, research shows even simple things, giving a chatbot a human name, a little avatar makes us trust it more, feel more satisfied. We start treating it like a social partner.
But then the uncanny valley, that creepy feeling when something is almost human but not quite.
Exactly. And the article talks about an uncanny valley of the mind.
Okay, what's that?
The idea that as AI gets super close to human intelligence but isn't quite there, it can also feel off, unsettling.
Right.
And interestingly, some research suggests making robots less human-like can actually make us more comfortable sometimes.
Wait, dehumanizing them makes us more comfortable. That sounds backwards.
It does, but maybe it manages our expectations or avoids that uncanny feeling. It also seems linked to power dynamics.
How so?
Studies suggest we prefer more human-like AI when we feel in control, but if we feel the AI is in charge or more powerful, we might prefer it to be less human-like.
Fascinating. Where generative AI fits in that power dynamic, still unclear.
Very much so. It's complex stuff.
Incredibly. Okay, let's connect all these psychological effects back to learning. How does this actually impact outcomes? Let's start with self-regulated learning.
Right, so self-regulated learning is all about managing your own learning planning, monitoring progress, knowing when you need help.
And accurate self-assessment is key there, right? Knowing what you know and what you don't.
Crucial. And that's where the AI placebo effect is risky. If you think you've mastered something thanks to AI...
You stop putting in the effort. You don't monitor your actual progress accurately.
Exactly. You might think you need less practice than you really do.
Does using AI add cognitive load too? Like mental effort?
It could, yeah. The article mentions needing to track AI contributions, worry about plagiarism, navigate the ethics. That all takes mental energy.
So it's not necessarily making things cognitively easier overall.
Not always.
Uh,
But to be fair, some early research does hint at potential positives. Maybe AI helps with motivation or developing study habits.
that's complicated.
Very, a real cost-benefit dynamic. It probably affects different parts or layers of self-regulated learning differently. We need more research to tease that apart.
Okay, what about creativity? This is a big one. AI making art, music.
Yeah, lots of buzz here. On one hand, there's hope, right? AI output can be genuinely creative, human-level stuff, so maybe it's a great tool for brainstorming, breaking blocks.
Inspiring us, augmenting our creativity.
Oh, that's the hope. But some early studies ring alarm bells. Worries that if we rely on it too much, say, for creative writing,
Our own creative muscles weaken. That externalization thing again.
that's the fear. Are we externalizing something fundamental? But then again, other findings suggest AI can boost creative problem solving, help generate ideas.
So the jury's still out. It could help the process, but hurt the underlying skill.
That seems to be the crux of it. We need to be careful. Is the AI improving our output, or is it replacing our inherent creativity? Huge difference.
Caution needed before letting students just offload creative work entirely.
Definitely, until we understand that distinction better.
What about skills like coding or academic writing? Any early signs there?
Some potential benefits showing up. One study linked chatbot support to better performance in programming courses. Another suggested AI tools could help with engineering essays.
So positive signs.
Yes, but, and this is a big, but AI output isn't always right. It can make mistakes.
Hallucinations, right? Making stuff up.
Exactly. Errors, inaccuracies, fabricated info. So even when it seems helpful for coding or writing, you absolutely need strong critical thinking skills. You have to check its work carefully.
Can't just blindly trust the output.
Never. Human oversight is critical.
Okay, let's shift to people's perspectives. Students, educators,
Mhm.
what are they generally thinking about AI in schools?
Well, surveys show students are generally pretty positive about using AI for help, assistance, support. They see the potential.
Makes sense? Saves time, maybe?
Yeah, streamlines things, but they also have concerns. Ethics, privacy, becoming too dependent.
And teachers.
Educators seem to see the biggest immediate plus for their work lesson planning, finding resources, less so for, say, grading student essays directly using AI.
Interesting. So more for back-end support than student assessment. Any disagreements between students and teachers on how AI should be used?
Yes, definitely some gaps, especially in the early stages of writing.
Like brainstorming.
Exactly. Teachers were much more against students using AI for brainstorming without saying so, compared to the students themselves.
Students were more okay with unacknowledged brainstorming help.
Seemed like it. Same for outlining. Students were more accepting of using AI there, with or without credit, than teachers were.
But what about actually writing the essay? Drafting, revising.
Much more agreement there. Both students and teachers strongly felt that using AI without saying so for the actual writing and revision. Unacceptable.
Okay, so the line seems to be drawn more clearly around the core writing task itself. Using AI as an uncredited ghostwriter for the main text is a no-go for most.
That's the consensus, yeah.
Yeah.
But using it for idea generation, more gray area, more disagreement.
Right, so given all these challenges, placebo effects, ghostwriting, the learning impact concerns, what are the potential ways forward? Solutions, future research.
The article points to a few key areas. One is just more transparency, making users aware of how these things work.
Like knowing about the huge data sets, the massive effort behind training them.
Exactly. Maybe that builds appreciation, makes people less likely to just take the credit themselves. Also, exploring how AI looks or acts.
Embodiment, like giving it a face.
Yeah, or human-like traits. Does that change how we attribute its work? Does the current faceless chatbot interface make it easier to treat it like an uncredited assistant?
Interesting idea. If it felt more like a someone, we'd feel more obliged to credit them.
It's a plausible hypothesis to test. Another big area is figuring out which tasks are okay to offload to AI and which aren't.
For learning, specifically.
Right. The article uses this three-layer model: semantic, that's deep understanding; proximal, applying concepts; and motor, just executing skills.
Okay.
The idea is maybe lower-level stuff, once you've mastered the basics, is fine for AI help, like grammar check after, grammar rules.
But not offloading the high-level thinking, the core understanding.
That's where the danger lies, yeah.
Yeah.
Offloading the semantic layer could really undermine learning, so we need better analysis, better guidelines for using AI appropriately at different skill levels.
That makes sense. Build the foundation first,
Yeah.
then use AI as scaffolding, maybe.
Something like that. And related to that is actively fostering self-regulated learning.
How can AI help with that? instead of hindering it.
Well, imagine educational AI tools designed not just to give answers, but to act as, like, monitoring systems, tracking your progress, highlighting weak spots.
Pointing out where you need more practice, not just doing it for you.
Exactly. Building personalized learner models inside chatbots. So the support is tailored, and it helps prevent you just leaning on it too much.
Using that research on anthropomorphism to design these AI mentors effectively, too.
Could be key, making them helpful partners, not just answer machines. And finally, a really critical need.
What's that?
Training. Developing solid training programs for everyone, students, teachers. We need global standards, best practices for using AI ethically and effectively in education.
Equip people to navigate this new world.
Absolutely. Everyone needs the skills and awareness.
Wow. Okay, this has been, a proper deep dive. So much to think about. So, for you, listening, the big takeaway seems to be generative AI. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Definitely. Powerful help, but real risks too. Those placebo and ghostwriter effects show how subtly it can mess with our self-perception and our sense of contribution.
And that underlying tension.
Yeah.
We want to offload work, but we also perceive these tools in complex, almost human ways sometimes. Anthropomorphism, uncanny valley. It all plays in.
It's a really intricate dance between us and the technology.
And the research is still catching up, right? We don't have all the answers yet.
Far from it, which just highlights how important it is to engage with this stuff critically, especially in schools and creative fields.
We need to be thoughtful about how we adopt it.
Essential, as AI gets more and more woven into everything we do.
Which leads to maybe a final thought, something for you to chew on. As AI becomes this integrated part of our lives, how do we make sure we stay in the driver's seat? How do we remain the authors of our own learning, our own creativity, and not just become passengers, letting algorithms shape our world?
That feels like the crucial question, doesn't it?
Yeah, one we definitely need to keep exploring.